Hi, my name's Riz and welcome to my channel. Recently I've had a few people ask me about my workflow, how I edit my pictures, tools that I use, things like that. So I thought I'd just put together a quick video just about that, you know. I'm going to go through the apps that I use, three main apps. So Cyril for the pre-processing and stacking, Photoshop for 90% of the post-processing, and Lightroom, sorry, for little tweaks at the end. I also use a few plugins, Astro Panel and Topaz Denoise, and I'm also going to have a tinker with StarNet++. Recently used it and I think it's really cool. So the whole point in this is to try to make the workflow as simple as possible. I'm quite a lazy person. I like things to be as easy as they can be, and that's what I'm going to try to achieve in this. But yeah, anyway, I'll stop talking. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing that we need to do is prepare our files. So within Cyril, there's a few ways to do the processing. I'm going to be using their built-in scripts. They work really well, and it's single-click stacking and processing. Oh no, sorry, single-click stacking. The processing's still a bit manual, but regardless, it takes out a lot of the guesswork and, you know-how. So what we need to do first is sort out our files. I've already gone through all of my light frames and got rid of any of the rubbish ones, or yeah, stuff with satellites going through, elongated stars, movement as well, you know, just got a camera shake, whatever. It's all gone. So I've already gone through that. But what we want a working directory, which here is called Rosette Demo, and then within there I've created three other folders: lights for those light frames, darks for the darks frames, and biases. There isn't a flats folder here because I didn't take any flat files during this this session. Also, the darks that I'm using are actually from my darks library. Didn't take the darks on the same night, but I found as long as you're within, you know, probably about 5 degrees of the temperature that the lights were taken at, you're probably okay. And then the biases are, you know, just your camera at its maximum shutter speed. I'm not sure how beneficial biases are, but they're easy to take, so I just did them. So once we've got that sorted, I'll quickly give you a heads up as well on the scripts. So I mentioned that I didn't include flat frames here. If you run a script and it is expecting a folder and that folder doesn't exist and the files don't exist, it's going to crap out and give you an error. So what I did was I modified the script slightly. So I went to the scripts location, so it's just C, program files, Cyril, and then scripts. I copied the one-shot color processing or pre-processing file, and then renamed it without flats. If I open this, I'll show you what I quickly did. I just commented out any reference to the flats folder and the master flat that it builds after it's processed them all. This is all commented out, and that is all I did. I just saved it, and now that's ready to use. So that's done. Gone over the folders, so let's open Cyril. I'm using the latest version as of, I think, the 13th of February 2021. It's still technically a dev version, but this new user interface is so much better than the old one. I'd highly recommend using this version. I haven't had any stability issues, to be honest. And to be honest, even if I have or had, it wouldn't really bother me. Yeah, you just rerun it. it's not a big deal. Like I said, this is a really simple process. So, first thing we want to do in Cyril is set the working directory, home directory. So we'll click on this button up here, let that open. It's actually already selected, but what you would want to do is go to the folder that all of your other directories are in, and that will be your working directory. Click on open, and you can also, oops, apologies, you can also confirm that it's in the right place by just checking up here. And then once that's done, we want to go scripts and run the without flats script. If you have got flats, just run the original and that'll be absolutely fine. That's the one that I use when I've got flat files. So let's do that. It'll give you a warning saying, you know, it's an automatic script, blah blah blah, but I've generally had really good results with it. So let's just run it and just let it do its thing. All of the tasks and commands that you run within this application get printed in the console on the right, so it makes it quite easy to follow what you've been doing. But we'll just let this run. It should take less than 3 minutes to run because I've only got 30 light frames, but we'll be back once it is finished. Okay, so that's finished. It took, what, 2 minutes, 46 seconds to run, and you'll see, where is it? Right there, it's saved a result.fit file. So, it gives you some information about it as well, you know, the size in pixels, number of layers. So this would be referring to RGB. So let's open it. And here you can see the individual channels, and then all of them together, and there isn't very much to see. Fear not. Let's go here, and we want to switch the view from linear to Autostretch, and we got something that starts resembling something. Okay, so the first thing we need to do in here is the photometric color calibration. So let's do that. So we just want to type in the name of the object, click on find, select it, and then get the metadata from the file. So this will give us the focal length and the size of the pixels. It needs this information to be accurate so that it can properly do, well, it's essentially plate solving. So, you know, so it can do the plate solve, this needs to be accurate. So let's OK that, let it run. Also, photometric color calibration needs to be done first thing. I don't know why they don't put it at the top of the list of actions, because I've found if you do it at any other stage, it will fail. Also, it requires internet access, but it does work very well when it works. It's nearly done. Cool, let's close that. There's still going to be a bit of green noise in here, so we can remove that. Again, we go to image processing, remove green noise, apply. Cool, that's done. So, yeah, now we're able to see some of the more natural colours. Next, let's look at just a bit of cosmetic correction. I just use the defaults on all of these and it seems to work just fine. We'll close that. And deconvolution. I've done this, I've recorded this a couple of times now. 0.7 seems to work quite well for this image. And I think Other than, okay, so the only other thing we need to do is histogram transformation to make the auto stretch permanent. At the moment we're just seeing it for visual purposes. So let's go and click on this cog icon here, and that just does the auto stretch, and apply, and then close, and you'll see it looks a bit funny. The vignette is quite significant on here, but that's because we're still in auto stretch view. So we go to linear, it's pretty much back to how it was. So that's it. That's all we need to do in Cyril. That's all I do in Cyril. Next we want to save, but we don't want to click on save because that's just going to save the fit file. We need to save it as a tiff. So we'll click on the downwards arrow next to it. Some of the functions within this interface are a bit slow. Okay, let's call this Rosette Demo .tiff, and we want to save it as a 16-bit. We're going to have to convert it to 16-bit anyway. If we saved it as 32-bit, we would have to convert it to 16-bit in Photoshop, so we might as well skip that step. There we go. Another cool thing that I haven't actually used yet, I just want to see how this works. That's quite cool. I guess this is only available after you've done the photometric color calibration, but nice. Anyway, let's close that. Exit. And now let's go into Photoshop. I've been doing some just testing really, just trying to streamline my workflow. But we're just going to open up the file that I just created, and there it is. So first thing we should probably do is fix this crop. Bring this down a bit, I'll bring that up a bit, just get rid of the stacking artifacts. Yep, crop. That's good. Now let's duplicate this layer and work off of this. So first thing I want to do is create a curves adjustment, just to make it a little bit more contrasty. Just going to bring down the blacks and bring up the highlights. Just makes it easier for me to distinguish when I'm doing the color range selections in a sec. And pretty much after every adjustment I'm going to be doing a stamp visible layers. So yeah, Shift, Control, Alt, E, and then you get a new layer that has all of the changes from the layers below. Next we need to go to Select, Color Range, and first things first, we're going to select the nebula in this image. I'm going to go here, select somewhere in that area. I'll reduce this down to about 35, and then I'm going to select the additive tool so it will keep on adding to my selection. So I just want to get everything within here. These black bits are stars. That, yeah, I think that'll probably be fine. No, too far. Control Z undoes the last click. Okay, that should be fine. And then we want to go select and select a mask, and just to feather the selection, I usually do about 4 pixels. Otherwise, if you, let's say we increase saturation or the levels, and there isn't any feathering going on, you're going to get really drastic changes between pixels, and it just doesn't look right. Cool, so that's selected. I'm just going to deselect this crop tool, it's annoying me. Adjustments, levels. Now on the RGB channel, so master channel, I'm just going to raise the middle one up a bit. I'm going to go 1.1, and then I'm going to go to red and do the same on this, 1.1. Yeah, that should be good. And we're going to click here and do another stamp. So Shift Control Alt E, got a new one, and then I'm going to select the background. Let's bump that up a little bit, and then get the additive droplet tool. Might be a bit much. Let's make this 35 again. Okay. See how that goes. Alright. I'm going to select a mask again, and we want to do the same feather. Oh, that's a bit too far. Let's go 4. Adjustments, levels, and now we want to bring this stuff down. That's not bad. There is some magenta in the sky. It's not too distracting right now. I think what I'll probably do is use the same mask and then get the saturation tool and then just desaturate magenta. So I will deal with it. But yeah, we've gone down by 0.1. That should be fine. Okay, it's just to get some more separation between, you know, the deep sky object and the sky. Okay, so we've just done another stamp. What I'm going to do is right click on that and then add mask to selection, and then do another adjustments layer, hue saturation, and that's applied the same mask that I just had. Now that way I can go here and select magenta and just desaturate it a little bit. That's all. So again, so it's still, you know, it's not popping that much, but we're definitely getting more of an idea of, well, we're getting closer to where we want it. Right, now let's do another stamp. Oh, I have so many layers in this. I want to make the nebula a little bit more contrasty, so I'm going to try doing something. Let's change this view so I know exactly where I'm clicking. I want one of these shadowy areas in the nebula, and then we'll reduce the fuzziness. I think that's... If you hold down and then move your mouse around, you can see the preview on the right hand side to get a selection that you want. Okay, let's give that a go. This up a little bit. Okay. You guessed it, we're going to do another feather. So select the mask. Just go for, okay. And then another levels. I think this will probably be the last levels adjustment, at least for a while. We want to bring this down actually, so there we go, just a little bit. Okay. Cool. Just done another stamp. Okay. So now, I'm not doing any sharpening or anything before we've gone down the removing stars route. So what I will do though is go to filter and then camera raw filter, which is essentially Lightroom within Photoshop, has all of the same development tools. So, and I'm probably going to get my final colors and stuff here. So let's bump this up just a little bit and bump the contrast up. Highlights, if you click on control or hold down Control, sorry, and then you can play the highlights slider then. We want it to just be clipping, like the stars to just be clipping. There's shadows. Well, actually, no, sorry. Shadows, I don't bother with the Alt key. I'm gonna raise shadow. No, I'm gonna raise the shadows a bit. White probably won't get touched very much, to be honest, but let's go with that. And blacks, we want to bring down a little bit. What I'm going to do right now, before I do anything else, I'm just going to fix the optics on this, because there's a vignette. So let's fix the vignette. Let's just bring that up. Make the image a bit flatter. Let's go back to basics. Texture I don't really use too much. If anything, I'll bring it down. Let's get some clarity in there just to make this a bit more punchy. We'll have a play with this. So yeah, if you bring texture up, it brings up all the stars. So and yeah, it brings up details you don't necessarily want. So let's bring it down a little bit like that. And then vibrance, do like the vibrance slider. Let's go there. And saturation just a touch. Is that +3? That's probably fine. Let's do this. Want saturation, and we can use the sample tool. So let's go here. Okay. That might be a bit much actually. Okay, let's leave it like that. Not doing any noise reduction or anything yet. So, yeah, that's not bad. Let's do, I'm going to do a save as. Let's call this, so I'm not going to include the layers in this file. Okay, fine, copy is fine, so let's do that. StarNet++ is sometimes a bit funny about the files that I feed into it, so I hope this works. If not, there's a way that I found that definitely works. So that's saved. Let's just go to it. Where is it? Demo. Let's go to the copy. Let's just do a copy and then paste it into here. Let's clear these. And I'm just going to modify the bat file. That one there. Edit. And we just want to. Oh, is it a hyphen copy or underscore copy? Oh no, just space. Really? Yes. Okay. I'm going to remove space. I don't know if it doesn't like spaces, so let's just do that. Close, save, and then just edit this so that space doesn't exist. And then let's run the bat file. The bat file on this computer takes absolutely ages to process this file. It gives me an error. Where is the error? Yeah, it's this here. I think the CPU in this laptop is newer than what the code was written on or written for. And yeah, it just runs dog slow. I tried seeing if there's any way you can get it to use the GPU instead. And the only way you can, from what I can tell, is compiling the code yourself, and that seems to be a real nightmare in Windows. The alternative is to buy PixInsight and then using the module for PixInsight, the StarNet module for PixInsight, and that supports GPU acceleration, but yeah, just gonna have to wait, and this could take a while. So what I'll do, I'm going to pause the video and then do a nice time lapse of the screen. Okay, so that finished. Let's hit any key. Here is our starless picture now. So what we can do is do a right click, copy. Yeah, okay, copy, and then we'll chuck it in here. Paste. And then I'll copy it from here. Well, I'll do a drag and drop. I'm going to create it as a new layer. That looks pretty cool. So now, got to remember how I did this. Got to move this layer down. Select layer 5. Which is basically its reference layer, and then I'm going to open up Astro Panel version 5. Go to Astro, Stars, select the large stars. So this goes through, does a load of stuff. Like I said, I'm lazy. This is all stuff that could be done manually, but you know, why bother if it's that easy? Anyway, so they're selected. What I will do though is I'm going to go to select and then modify and expand. I'm going to increase these by 5 and hope that that's okay. I can increase this later anyway. And now I'm going to go select and ooh, yeah, okay, feather. I'm just going to feather it by 4 pixels as well. Actually, I'm just going to go back in. I'm going to do a select and mask. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to shift the edges. The problem is if they're too small, then it makes the star bursts look a bit funny. So you're better off going bigger. Okay, so that's that. Now we're going to make a layer mask from that selection. And then we can play around with mixing. So that's normal. Normal actually doesn't look too bad. I'm going to try Luminance as well. Okay, let's go for normal. That's fine. So it just gets rid of all of the really little ones that kind of get in the way of the image. So if we go back, so that's what it was like before. It just, I don't know, I think it looks better. I'd be interested to know what people think actually. You know, stars as they are, or you know, masking them out and just being selective with them. Next, just going to do a little bit of sharpening and denoise. So, I'm going to do the denoising in Lightroom. So we can keep it like this for now. I'm going to do a save. Let's do save as. Let's not include the layers in this. And just overwrite the existing file. Happy days. Let's go here. Oops. Let's go here, import. And uncheck all and just import the one that we want. And let's zoom in. So I'm going to do very minimal in here. Probably going to change the crop slightly. Just want it a bit more central. Don't know why it does that. Original. Okay. I'm just going to bump up the contrast a little bit, like that. I'm going to put a touch of clarity back into it as well. I really like that, but you can really see the structure in the nebulosity there. Nah, I'm going to keep that as it was. So I'm not touching anything else in terms of colour or exposure or anything. Next, let's just go, so I'm not going to sharpen, let's just do a bit of noise reduction. Oh, actually no, I will sharpen, I've got an idea. So if we go in here, let's do that by about just 24, that's fine. And then if we hold down Alt, we can see what the mask is selecting. There we go. That's all we need. And then a bit of noise. Oh, actually, yeah, let's go for about 20. I think that's fine. But yeah, that's my workflow. Now, what I would do from here is click there so it syncs up with my Adobe Cloud. And then I'd probably have a play of it on my phone, see how it looks on the phone, tweak colours, and then post it to, you know, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And that's it. I hope that was helpful for someone. I think, at least when I first started looking at stacking and stuff like that, I found the stacking process and, you know, pre-processing quite intimidating. I think Cyril really removed that barrier, or lifted that barrier for me. It's got a lot of features built into it that you would normally have to pay for, so yeah, it's cool. But I really like it as a tool. Really simplifies the pre-processing part of it. Photoshop is Photoshop. You could play with these things to your heart's content, but this is how I like to do it. This is assuming you got good data as well. I think the data that I got this night, even though it's only 90 minutes, I think it was actually quite good data. So it's a nice image to, it's a nice image to edit. But yeah, if anyone wants to see my process on any other photos, then that'd be cool. Let me know. If you like the content, consider subscribing, like and share. And yeah, hopefully see you soon. Bye for now.